the All Pivot Points indicator, which is offered for various platforms on the TradingFinder website. From this section, you can download the indicator file for MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 platforms and run it on the charts. Additionally, traders can read this page to understand how the indicator works and functions. We select the indicator file from the Navigator section and execute the indicator by dragging the file onto the chart. Once the indicator is placed on the chart, it begins to draw pivot point levels and support and resistance lines on the price chart. The All Pivot Points indicator provides traders with 4 main methods for identifying pivots, allowing them to identify support and resistance levels based on these 4 methods. The use of the indicator is based on pivot point levels. When the price is below the pivot point level, we can consider a downward trend. And when the price is above the pivot point level, we can predict an upward trend and use levels R1, R2, and R3 as resistance levels, and levels S1, S2, and S3 as support levels, allowing for more specialized analysis. On the chart, in the Settings section, under the Input tab, there are options available for us. In the first part, we can determine the calculation method, which includes 4 modes: Classic, Camarilla, Woody, and Fibonacci. If we select the Classic mode, it only displays 3 support and resistance levels, whereas if we choose the Camarilla mode, it shows 4 support and resistance levels, whereas if we select the Woody mode, it displays 2 support and resistance levels, and finally the Fibonacci mode, which shows 3 support and resistance levels. And all the calculations for each of these 4 modes, which include Classic, Camarilla, Woody, and Fibonacci, are different from each other and display various levels. In the next section, we can set the calculation period, which includes 4 modes: daily, hourly, weekly, and monthly. In the next section, we can enable or disable the display of the latest levels, which is disabled by default, and we see that it calculates and displays several trading days for us. In this section, we can set the number of calculated trading days, which by default calculates and displays 10 trading days. If we select the short lines and long lines options, it only displays the lines of the last pivot for today. If we select the long lines mode, it draws the support and resistance levels and the pivot in a horizontal manner for us. In the next section, you can also set the number of days to be calculated. In the following sections, you can enable or disable the display of pivot levels, day, S1, S2, S3, S4, and R1, R2, R3, and R4. You can change the color of the different levels to your desired color. You can choose the type of level drawing. And finally, you can change the size of the drawn lines to your preferred size. And in the last section, you can enable or disable the display of pivot point labels. In this section, if we simply disable this option, no label on will actually be displayed for us. Well, friends, we have reached the end of this indicator tutorial. We would be happy if you share your comments and suggestions with us in the comments section.